我叫你们不是全部叫你们继续改，我懒惰把你们看，你们继续改。
下面里面有3个东西，应该全部都要的。有一个 update 了的。
少洗一点。
下面那个不用，我要上面那个不了。我上面那个。
对了。
左那个不了，我要那个不了。我要上面。
那个有3 MB 出来。
什么东西啊？这个。今天他如果讲今天加 SKT 我还能信，今天加 SXDA 我不信。
不是，我要你进去写你的那些嘛，那些名字、那些备选字那些，因为一定会跟之前我们看的不一样。要啊，之前那个，只要你是跳去那个配置，你只要写在。你跟我们讲啊，这个不讲鬼知道你做完。你说你讲你要几时？
有一个，我昨天才弄到，我前几天是没得搞的。
前几天晚上今天晚一点。
我就修了一下。
6点。
还在修。
之前看，我看一下我要做那个 SD 还是先做。
才带带他的，那个 report 不满意，其实还做完了，是100%。他出来的东西不是我要的。
这700块。
算了，你再转。GPT 的智障，把他东西丢进去讲，然后问他，为什么我的 trigger run 不到？
他没有选某包，他2个有可能不一样的。
宣布下个礼拜要讲的。
你这是讲干话啊！你这种。好，他是有看到他发那个，好想见到你。笑。我也要写。小真的吗？真的了。你看，你跟我是昨天还是前天？
昨天。
哦，是想见到。没有啊。手嗨。
想见到你那个字。我要发。应该怎么见？想见到你。人把他的照片放给难怪啊。
没有想到。
给我，不是给我。结束之前教我吧，叫我给他。
你要后悔过。可以带我的笔。垃圾零食。
Okay, so good morning all. We are in the week 11. So you have 3 more weeks to week 12. Oh, sorry. Week 12. Week 12. So yeah, it's still through. So the brain cannot process. So 2 more weeks to go. Week 13, 14. Then after that, you have a very packed schedule. Your final examination. Only 2 or 3 days. Oh, if not mistaken. Study. Not study week. Study day. 5 days. Alright. So we still have how many chapters to go? 11, 12, 13. We have 3 more chapters to go. 3 more chapters to go. So you have done your presentation. Some of the group, some of them done it.
应该是
So
吧
I。think now you can start to
印象好像
prepare
是。
your final examination. Don't want to start. You still have presentation.
这什么东西啊？
Starting day is too short, so you should better start early.
2021年。哦，他们
Now
分别
getting
的
shorter.
日本的。然后最后建议。
Okay, so as usual, before we move on to the new chapters,
换一个。
shall we start?
这边的。好的。
They're not yet start. They're not yet ready.
很麻烦啊，真的是。
Shall we start? Yes or no?
真是。
Yes, but some of them they are not ready yet. Okay, so let's start with the revisions of chapter 10. So chapter 10 is about the image processing and the computer vision, right? So what we learned about what is image. Okay, so image is actually a 2D array of pixels. Right, so it's actually formed by pixels. So each of these element here is called pixel or the smallest element. It's the smallest element.
Genius. 可。
Okay, so each of these pixels consists of a unique value here. Right, for example, 141. So this value here is referred to intensity or the brightness. Okay, the higher the value, the brighter is your image. And the lower is the value, the darker is your image. Alright, and then we have also seen the 4 properties of one's image. We have a spatial resolution. It's about the size of the image. For example, you have 10 pixels per inch. Okay, so it's about the size. Then we have a second properties is regarding to number of channels. Okay, so you have 3 channels here. Is referred to RGB value or color image. You have a single channels here. Is referred to gray scale image. Okay, we have also seen the intensity resolutions. How many levels of the color are in one image? Right, so it depends on number of bits. Right, most of the system we use 8 bits. If your X bit is 0 to 288 means that you have a 256. But if you apply in the image, it's actually 0 to 255. So it means that in this value, the maximum value in 1 pixel is 255. The minimum value is 0. 0 to 255. Okay, the last property that we have seen is about the opacity. Okay, so it's how much light that you allow to travel, to pass through the object, right? If the percentage is high, alright, so it means that it is opaque. Right? If the percentage is low, it means that you allow a lot of light to pass through the object, so it is become a transparent. Right? So we have 4 main properties of one image. So beside that, we have also gone through the process, flow of image processing. We have image acquisitions. Right? You obtain the image, right? You capture the image, you collect the image. So then we perform some pre-processing. Okay, so we perform the pre-processing. After that, we extract the features. So after you extract the pictures, you have to put these pictures in a machine understandable format. Okay, so it's called descriptor. Descriptor, or representations. And then we can use this descriptor to train our models. But last week we pay more attention in this process, right? It's called pre-processing. So how to enhance the quality of the image. So in the pre-processing, we have the scenes, the correlations. Okay, so correlation is basically we have an input image, right? We multiply a kernel, right? The kernel normally in odd number, for example, 3 times 3. So you will get a new image. Right? We are modifying the intensity value on each pixels using the kernels. Then you will get a new image, right? And then we have also seen the convolutions. Right? We flip the kernels and we multiply them. We have also seen some of the noise. So we have a 3 general noise here, impulse noise, white noise. We have a Gaussian noise. And then we have this salt and paper noise. Okay, so to suppress the noise here, we got to use filter. So filter, impulse noise, normally we use average filter. Average, no more place. Gaussians, normally we use a Gaussian filter. And salt and paper, normally we use median. But not a must, sometimes you got to try and errors. And then we have also covered the morphological, morphological operations. Okay, so we have 4 common types of morphological operations: dilations, elotions, opening, and closing. Yeah, I think this is the summary. Yeah, we have covered last week quite a lot of things here, but we pay more attention in the pre-processing part. For the descriptor training part, you probably have to attend the computer vision or image processing courses to get more, to understand more about the later part. I will just cover the fundamentals of the image processing. Okay, so today's we're going to move on to a very simple topic. Yeah, so compared to the previous one. So from chapter 2 onwards, right, we have to cover the search algorithms, machine learning, a lot of mathematics approaches, modelings. So started from these chapters, no more all these modelings, no more. So all straightforward using a rule-based system. Alright, so this chapter 11, 12, and 13, they are basically one chapters. 11, 12, 13, they are one chapters. So we just split these 3 chapters into individual topics. Alright, so what is expert system? Okay, so expert system is basically just a computer program. Alright, so expert system is just a computer program that mimics the human decision making ability. Through the rule base. Okay. Alright, so it actually just a computer program, just a normal program that having a human decisions making ability through a rule base. So no more machine learning. So we are not going to train the models. We are not going to teach the model how to make the decisions. So all the one you have seen the machine learning, decision tree. We have so-called the linear regressions. So what's the purpose for machine learning? So to make a decision, right? You give a new input, so the machine will make a new output or make a decisions using the past experience, past historical data. But the expert system is solely depends on the rule base that's set by the user, set by the domain expert. Okay. All right. So throughout these 1 hours and maybe 2 hours here, I'm going to introduce you what is the expert system, the architecture of expert system, and the element inside the expert system, as well as how the expert system reasons the rules and also the observations to give you a decision. Right, so some of the examples for an expert system is like Dendro. Some of the systems that are available in the market. Dendro is mainly to analyze the organic molecule. Right, in the chemist, to help the chemist to identify the organic molecule. We have a mycins. Mycins, if not mistaken, we have a so-called the explain. Mycin, if not mistaken, is to identify the bacteria, or the explain is to identify the disease. There are other common expert systems available in the market. Alright, so expert system is actually mimic how the human expert works. Right, so what is human expert? Let's try to understand what is human expert first. Human expert is the professionals, parties or the people in a particular domain, in the specific domain. Okay, so maybe I will put one more in a specific domain. Okay, what do I mean by in a specific domain? In a specific field, in a specific area. Right? It's not like the chatbot. It look like a chatbot, but chatbot is quite general, right? Chatbot can do whatever things. You do greetings. You find a lot of so-called knowledge. You have a lot of so-called what you can get. The so-called the output is not really specific, So then the computer scientists start to narrow down the task, narrow down the chatbot into the expert system. Where the expert system will solve questions at the particular areas, at the particular field. At the particular fields. Alright, so for examples, let's say in medicals or in the hospitals, the expert domain is a doctor. Okay, so the experts will be the doctors. Alright, but however, human expert is still a humans, so humans will tend to make mistakes. Yeah. This is a true story where the doctor left this scissor inside the body. So why this happened? Because humans fatigues. Human feel tired, just like you after you do an assignment, you feel fatigued. But then you have to still go to the hospital to do operation. Then it affects your decision making ability. Right, and a lot of things. There are a lot of limitations as a human. So you have a lot of mistakes here. You can see based on the past statistic. You have a medical errors 31%, surgical errors 4,000 per year, or nearly 4,000 each year, and 33 medical malpractice claims in the US. And this is a true story. The doctor left the scissor in the body. This is not a new case. There are quite several cases in the US. So that's why we need an expert system. Alright, not to replace the human experts. It's not going to replace, but it's going to assist the human expert in a certain scenario. For example, making decisions. Okay. So I'm not going to read down all the comparison here. You can go through this. We know that the computer system is give you a consistent result compared to the human expert. Compared to the human experts, humans, your result sometimes is not consistent. Depending on your mood affected by the feelings. Today you broke up with your girlfriend, then you've got no mood, then you make a wrong decision. Very good. Okay, so just show you the overall parties that involved to build an expert system. So we have 4 main parties here. First, project managers. Project manager is to align the objective, whether you have achieved the objective, align the budget, align the timelines, and also discuss with the domain expert, knowledge engineer, programmer for the progress. Alright, and then we have a domain expert, which is the most important party in this development team. So what is domain expert? It's the human expert. It's a expert. It's a person who expert in a particular field. For example, doctor. We have an engineer. We have a teacher, which is the professional people. Right? So they are going to provide their expertise, their knowledge. Let's say you have a doctor, right? Doctor say, okay, you will see this condition A, B, and C, then probably it infected by this disease D. If you have C, E, F, G, then this is H. So this knowledge engineer will have to interview with the domain parties. Right? He has to ask some questions, get the information from the domain expert, and the knowledge engineer will have to organize all the information or knowledge into the if-else statement. Okay, and then he has to pass the information to the programmer, and who is you lah? You have to start to do the coding, write the if-else code, which is not something new to you. I think you have been using a lot of this if-else rule-based in all your system in the past. So, and then he has to design all the UI and database also to build the expert system. Okay, so this is a general. I think not only expert system, most of the system that we have this, we should have all these parties to make it work. Okay, so this is since this is a rule-based system, through a rule-based system, so it's built based on the if-then statement. Okay, so if statement normally we will call it as an antecedent or premise, or sometimes it's called condition, right? If A, B, C. So the A, B, C here can be referred to the conditions. Sometimes I'll call it as an antecedent or the premise. Meanwhile, for the 10th part is normally known as the consequence, the conclusion, or the action. Okay, so these are the, also we can join the premise together using this conjunction or the disjunction or the combinations of the both. Alright, so we have several types of the rules in the expert system: relations, recommendations, heuristic, directive, strategies. So look at this one by one. So relations is show the relationship between X and Y, which is the input and output. Right? There's no recommendation, there's no suggestion at all. It just shows that if the fuel tank is empty, then the car is dead. That's it. It's very straightforward. You have this, then you have that. Yeah. So we have recommendations. As the name stated, we suggest the things to the user. But you have this, and this. The why is you have to take an umbrella. So whether you want to take umbrella is up to you. So it is a suggestions. A heuristic is meanwhile is like you have to do some backwards reasoning. Right? You have to see something like the spill is liquid, then you smell it. Oh, it has a medical taste. Right? The spill, then you test the pH is less than 6. Okay, we have to do some reasoning. Oh, the spill material is acetic acid. We try to find the root cause. Then we have a directive. Directive is quite similar to the recommendations. Okay, it's quite similar to the recommendation, but recommendation is like give you a suggestions. Directive is more toward like the instructions. It's more toward like an instruction. If the car is dead, the fuel tank is empty, then you have to do this, and then you have to refill the car. Okay, so what? Your car, no more petrol. So the action is refill the car. Then you go refill the car. Alright. It's quite similar to the recommendation, but recommendation is like give you whether you want to charge the car or EV car. But what campus do not have the charger? Oh. Okay, and then the strategies. Strategies meanwhile is a step-by-step guidance stuff, like the cooking recipe. Yeah, so you have to follow a step 1. So you have to do this first. Step 2, you have to do that, and step 3, you have to. It's actually you look at this example here. It's a step-by-step guidance. You have to check every single step. So we have 5 different rules here. Relations, X to Y. Yeah, recommendations, suggestions, heuristic. You have to do some backtrack reasoning to identify the root cause. A directive is an instruction. Strategy is more towards like guidance. Okay, so let's try some of the exercise. If cough present is true, firms has blood stain. But you cough, okay, I cough. Then you check your firms has blood stain. Then the symptoms of TB is true. So which belong to relation, recommendation, heuristic, directive, or strategies? Yeah. Heuristic, very good. So you are trying to find out what is this, but what is the symptom. So try to backtrack, do some reasoning. So the symptom of TB is true. So this one is heuristic. If diagnosis is TB, then you have to take this anti-TB drugs. Yeah, it can be a recommendation or it can be a directive because it kind of an instruction or suggestion. But it's more appropriate to use directive because you have this TB, you must take this anti-TB drugs. Okay. Number 3, if symptom of TB is true, you have to go for a chest X-ray. Recommendations, recommends that patients recommendation. So whether you want to check X-ray, it's up to you. So you want to check or not, it's up to you. So it's just a suggestion. If TB true, then cough present is true. Relations, very good. It just shows the relations between your X and Y. Yeah? If TB is true, then cough is true. That's it. No recommendations, no heuristic, but it is relations. Okay? So straightforward. Okay. Okay. So let's zoom in a little bit here. So we have seen the overall pictures of how to build an expert system. Right. So now let's zoom in into the expert system. So we're trying to explore the elements that is inside the expert system here. Alright, so we have several five main components inside expert system. It's kind of like a checkpoint, just like a checkpoint, but it's a specific domains. So we have most important components here, which is the knowledge base. So what is a knowledge base? Is a permanent memory. It's just a permanent memory that to store all the rule base, to store all the if else rules. Okay, so you still remember that just now we have this party called domain expert. So the domain expert will interview, will talk to the knowledge engineer. The knowledge engineer will collect all the information and structuralize all the response from the domain expert into the if else statements. So, right? The if else statement will then pass to the programmer to write all the rules. Okay, so all these rules will store in where? Okay, store in this knowledge base. It's a permanent memory. Okay, and then we have a second module here. It's called database. It's not the database that you learn of SQL, no. It is a temporary memory. It is a temporary memory that to store all the conditions, observations from the user. Okay, it means that the user will later on check with this expert system, and then all the strings that key in by the user will extract or will store inside the fact here. We store inside this database. This observation condition. Let's say I cough. I fever. So all this cough, fever will store inside your this temporary memory. All right. So you have these observations. You have the knowledge base. Then what you do? You have to do the matching, right? You have to do the matching. So this matching process will actually performed by this module. It's called inference engines. So this inference engine here consists of two modules. So the first one is known as a reasoning mechanism. Okay, reasoning mechanism is that how to do the matching, right? So you have this input, you have these rules, so we have to do the matching. So the matching here, whether you want to use backward channings or forward channings, it depends on how you define in the system. So we have a forward chaining, and then we have a second method. It's called a backward chaining. So I'm going to explain in more details what is the forward and chaining and also a backward chaining later on. So we have a first module, how to do the matchings, and then we have a second module. It's called conflict resolutions. Okay, so some of the technique, for example, first come first serve, highest priority, and a lot more. I'm going to explain this inference engines in more details later, but don't worry about that. So just need to know that what is the purpose of inference engine? It's just basically just to do a matching. You have this X, we scan through all the rules, right? Which rule is fire, then which rule is match the condition with fire. Okay, and then we have an explanation facility. It is a module that to convert all the output into the human understandable language or string. Then you probably have to use an analogy. Yeah, so you have to convert all the output. You have A and B, then you have C. You cannot just straight away pump the C back to the user, right? You have to write in a proper manners, or you have this A and B. So you suspected to infected with this C. So please approach the clinic or something like that. And then last one, you have a user interface to communicate between the user and also the backend. Okay. Okay, so you have a 5 main parties or 5 main modules, a knowledge-based database here, do the matchings, and then you generate some results and display on the user interface. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, some of the theory, a lot of words. Okay, some of the good characteristics. I just give a summary. A good access system should consist of high performance, means that you are able to return a correct response based on the user input, right? You probably don't want to have a chatbot that give you a not relevant result based on the user input. Okay, is it low? Your virtual assistant give you a correct response. No. So you probably want to have a system that give you a correct response, high performance, speed. Yeah, you don't want to have a chatbot to respond you in delay, right? After 5 seconds, you want to have an instant response. Heuristic reasoning, yeah, you should have a good reasoning here, reasoning mechanism, and then you should have an explanation capability. Okay, which to convert using the analogy some modules. Some of the advantage of the expert system is where it's easy to build because you can see the domain expert. We just interview the domain expert and then we just convert the knowledge into the if else statement, right? It's unlike the machine learning. You need to collect a lot of data set. Some of the data set may have a null value. Then you have to clean the data, this and that. You need to have a lot of strong data science knowledge to clean all the data to build your machine learning. Done, huh? You pump what, 97 or 95? EV car, EV. 95. Okay, so yeah, it's easy to build, right, compared to machine learning. Separation of knowledge from its processing means that in these modules, all these modules are run independently, right? Independently. So whenever you want to recycle the inference engine into another expert system, yeah, you can just recycle because it's individual. You can just reuse this knowledge base in any other expert system. Right, dealing with incomplete and uncertain knowledge, yeah, a good expert system should have this capability as well. So what does it mean by this uncertain? Okay, so let me ask you a simple question. Let's say I have 2 rules here. If you are hungry, if true, then you eat. Yeah, then it's true. Or if you sleepy, if true, then you sleep. Okay, so are you hungry? Yes. Are you hungry? You sleepy. How about you? Are you hungry? Yes. How about you? Are you hungry? No. Someone please say not really. How are you? Are you hungry? No. Are you hungry? Please say not really. Say. Not really. You're satisfactory. Yeah? Let's say someone say not really. Yeah? Are you hungry? She say not really. I'm not forced. Okay. So you say if you're hungry, if your answer is I'm hungry, yes, then it's very simple, very straightforward. Because if hungry is true, then you eat. Then someone say if hungry, yes, then you eat. But what is something your friends are? What's your name already? Shani. Okay, Shani. Shani say not really. Not really. So not really, is it true or not? Is it belong to hungry or not hungry? Not possible. You have somehow a response in between true and false, you know. Right? So you have this not really. Okay. Maybe sometimes, maybe somehow you say, I'm not sure. You're not sure whether you're hungry. You don't know. You don't know. I'm a little bit a little bit. You have this kind of response, which is not exact yes or no, which is in between. This one is called uncertainty. Uncertainty. Which is something that you're not sure, which is something that falls between yes or no. Okay? So if your response is only fall between yes or no, this is called binary response. But you have to remember, in real world, right, in real life situation, not all the restaurant can be answered in yes or no. Most of the time, it can be don't know. What you want to eat later? You already. What do you want to eat? No. It's the common answer. Don't know. Right? So you don't know. So if you have this not very sure, so how to respond this? Eat or not eat? Right? So we don't know. So that's why we need some strategies to tackle all the uncertainties so that the machine will respond according to this uncertainty. Maybe you are hungry or not ready, then you eat a bit. You have something like that. Okay. So this uncertainty you need to solve it. Most of the times, in most of the good expert system, you should have these strategies, right, to tackle all the uncertainties here. So most of the common technique we use a probability based probability. Yeah, for example, 9 bytes. Okay, we can use also like certainty factors. Then, or we can use like fuzzy logic. Maybe some of you have heard about the fuzzy logic. You will see. You go back to your home. You check your washing machine. Your washing machine, maybe you have this fuzzy logic. Aircon. Sometimes you will see the fuzzy logic. Most of the kitchen appliances now come with the fuzzy logic words. Okay. So to tackle all the uncertainties, we have several techniques. We will pay more attention later on in the chapters 12. So this one in the chapter 13. We will see how to use these strategies to tackle all the uncertainties here. Okay, so I'm not going to explain in more details. I will explain later on in the chapters 13 on 12 onwards. Okay. What is the disadvantages of expert system? First, definitely, it's not able to learn. Okay, there's no machine learning modules. It all depends on the if-then rules. Right? It's all based on the rule base, so not able to learn. It's not really effective to search. If imagine that you have 100 or maybe you have 1,000 of rules inside your so-called knowledge base, then we have to scan the conditions through all the rules. So it becomes not really efficient or not effective. We have too many rules there. Alright, opaque relations between the rules. Yeah, some of the rules are not really transparent. Yeah, for example, if you cough, a cough can lead to many things. Right, cough can be a fever, cough can be a symptoms to a COVID, cough can be a TB and a lot. So it's not really transparent. Okay. Alright, so let's move on to the next one. Alright, so what is conflict resolution? So conflict resolution is one of the is referred to the strategies. So now we focus in the inference system here. Alright, so come back to this expert system. We zooming more into this inference engine. Right, look at this inference engine. We have two modules: reasoning mechanism and conflict resolutions. Look at this first. Conflict resolutions. Okay, assuming that you have these three rules in your knowledge base. The traffic light is orange, action stop. Traffic light is red, action stop. Traffic light is not red, action is go. Anyone bring motor? No. Drive? No. Driving. Okay. You have a boyfriend? Yes. Okay. Your boyfriend pet you? Oh, you pet your boyfriend? Sometimes. Okay. Let's say your boyfriend pet you lah. Okay. Boop 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 boop. Okay. You read this traffic light. Traffic light now showing yellow color, orange color lah. Yellow, orange, orange color. Okay. So what is your action? If you look at the rule base. If not look at the rule base, I know lah. In Malaysia, whatever color we have, we go. Yes, and nowadays is very terrible. This morning, traffic light T junctions. My one is green color, opposite side is red color. Green color I go, that one also go. Motor no. So I feel very stressed walking here already. I go out also very stressed. Yes, anyone experience that? You green color, red color, they also go. Motor, Food Panda or Grab. Normal motor also. But Grab and Food Panda I can understand because as a user I'm hungry, so I also wish that Food Panda deliver fast. Yeah. So now they have to be very careful when you're drawing on the routes. Okay, so now come back to here. Okay, so if you come to this traffic light is yellow or the orange, so based on the rules, which one that you should fire? Which rule is actually fulfill the condition? In Malaysia, go if ignore the Malaysia conditions. Look at these rules. You slow down. Slow down. Slow down is not within our rules here. You will stop. Okay. Someone said we will stop. But if you look at this rule base carefully here, let's say this is orange. Rules number 1, is it true? It's orange. Yes, this is true. We will scan through in rules number 2 here. Traffic light is red. This is not true. So we are not going to fire this rule. We will go through rules number 3. If the traffic light is not red, green, is it equal not red? Yes, right. So you will see that rules number 1 and rules number 3, both rules are correct at the first cycle. So how the express system rules work is actually we'll scan through every single rules here. We'll scan the first one true, this is not true, this is true. Oh, you have 2 rules that can be fired at the same time in one cycle. So the conclusion is whether you want to stop or you want to go. You want to go. You still want to go. Okay, so that's this situation. It is known as conflict. Okay, so the conflict in the express system means that you can fire more than one rule in one cycle. Right, you can fire more than one rule in one cycle. So they have conflicts here. So in the express system, you have to define first what is the solution, the resolution, the method, the strategies to solve the conflicts. So we have multiple strategies here. We'll go through one by one. It's not limited to these 5. There are a lot more, right? So I didn't list it out here. So higher priorities means that, let's say you have a lot of rules here, R1, R2, R3, and so on and so forth. So when you set these rules here, you have to set the priority. For example, you can set the topmost rules having the more significance, is more important, or you can set the bottom most rules having the more significance. It's more significant. It's having the high weightage compared to the. So let's say now in this case I set bottommost is more important. Then you will scan rules number 1. Let's say rule number 1 is correct. Scan rules number 2 is not correct. Scan rule number 3 is correct. So it's done, finished. So we have 2 rules can be fired at the same time. If we set this bottommost, then we are going to fire rule number 3. Okay, so it means that we give a weightage that come at an important, significant value to every single rule here. Yeah. Okay, most specific rule is the most simple one because we will just check if you have 2 rules can be fired at the same time. Let's say in this case, you have a Pluto have 4 legs and mammals can bark. So we scan rules number 1. Rules number 1 correct. Right, rules number 2 also correct. So we have a conflict here. So to solve this, if you use the most specific rules, then we will check there are how many match conditions. Okay, the first one you have 3, 1, 2, 3. But rules number 2 you have only 2. So we will select the one that having the most hit rules, which is the rules number 1. Okay, so rule number 1 you have 3 match conditions. Rule number 2 you have only 2 match conditions. So we will fire the rules number 1. That's it. Okay, so data most recently entered is a bit complicated. So when there's no example here because it actually had to depend on the times. So whenever you fire this output here, this output will then added a pen into the fact gather here. Okay, the moment that you added here, we have to provide some time tag. So we are going to do the firings or the matchings again based on the observation together with the time. It will be a little bit more complicated. Okay, you have a meta rules where you have rules inside your rule base. Okay, you set some certain rules inside a rule base. So for example, in this case, you have 2 rules here. Is a patient has a symptom of fever and headache. You have these infections. Rules number 2, you have this fever and headache and travel to the tropical areas, then a possibility of malaria. So you have 2 different outputs. But let's say now I have a conditions, fever and a headache, so 2 rules can be fired at the same time, right? So but we set some priority first. We set a rule first. If this so-called patients travel to the tropical area, then we will focus on the rules number 2. We set a rules for the list of the rules, which also are very complicated compared to the number 3 one, right? Because you have to set, whenever you set the rules, you have to set another rules for every single rules. Okay. And then the last one, we have a first come first serve. First come first serve, as a look at the name here, so you know that if the rules number 1 is correct, then we will straight away fire. Right? We won't look at the rules number 2 and the following rules. We will straight away fire rules number 1, continue. Okay, so that is the some of the examples now. Example for the conflict resolutions. Okay, so we take a rest for 5 minutes first. Okay, then we will come back later on. Okay. Anything that you're not sure, that you can come forward and clarify. set the rules 嘛，还没有开。你的 rules 里面你要再 set 的 rules 给他，比如说OK rules number 1，你是有生病，你 fever 跟咳嗽，你是 disease A 的。然后第二个 OK 你是有咳嗽，你是有生病，然后你是有可能去过一些国家的话，你是 disease B。 不一样，然后我们这个 rules 呢，我们 set 的时候，我们就会再 set 一个 rules。如果这个 patient 问这个 actor 先生，他是曾经有去过一些这个 Asia 的国家的话，那么我们就会 focus 那些 rules 有去过这些国家，比如说 rules number 2，OK， 然后我们就 scan 了，所以我们 set 一些 rules for 这个 rule base。 就是 kind of like 有 set a priority 了如果它有1、2、3、4，1跟3都是中的话，那么我们会在优先考虑3，可能有 certain condition。
有挺身。
Topics, which is the reasoning mechanism. Okay, so we have done the conflict resolutions and how to solve the conflicts. So what is conflict? Conflict is a situation where you can fire 2 rules at the one cycle. Right? Okay, so we have a 2 type of mechanism here, forward and backwards. So let me give you some ideas of what is backward and forward first. Hello. Okay, little bit ideas on what is backward and what is forward. Backward is something like you set a goal first, right? Backward. You set a goal first. Okay. For example, let's say you want to travel. So your goals, you want to travel to Australia. Right? So you set a goal. You want to go to the Australia. Then you go backwards. Okay, you go backward. In order to travel to Australia, so what are the conditions you need to fulfill? The first, you need to have passport. Okay. So now you check, do you have passport or not? Okay. Or if you have, then it's okay. If you don't have it, then you set this passport as your sub goal. Then you further reason. Okay, in order to have passport, what are the conditions that you should have? You should need. You have to apply. You need to have IC number, IC card, and whatever. Okay. Beside that, you need to have visa. okay. Now you check, do you have visa now to Australia? Oh no. If no, okay, in order to have a visa, you need to have employment letter. Okay, employment letter. Alright, and also you need to have a kind of provide a bank account, and your bank account must have at least a minimum amount of a certain money to apply the visa. And then you check, do you have employment letters? Or you don't have, then you further set this employment letter as your sub goal and further go down. Okay, and so on. So means that we set the goal first, we backtrack, we check do we have passport. If no, we set the passport as our sub goal, further go down. Same go to the other conditions. Okay, so from the top to the bottom. Meanwhile, forward chaining is we check our condition. We have to collect all our condition here. Let's say your bank amount, you have let's say 70k. Okay, you are jobless. Okay, and then let's say you have IC. Okay, we check you have a 70k. Okay, you can apply what? Okay, if you have IC, you can apply what? Since you are jobless, then you can't do anything. You have a 70. Okay, so you have jobless, then no. So you cannot. So let's say this is Anna. So you are 70k, but you're jobless, then you cannot go to Australia. So this is from the bottom to up. You collect all your information, but you collect all the conditions. Then you check whether you have these conditions, what are the goals that you can achieve. You have this condition, what are the goals that you can achieve. Then you slowly move upwards. Okay, but in this case, you cannot go to Australia because of you don't have these requirements. Okay, so one is the top down, one is the bottom up. Okay, but forward chaining is a little bit time consuming, and also you have to collect all the information here, right? You have to collect a lot of conditions, and you check the rules one by one. But this one, you don't really need to collect all the informations, and you're not going to scan all the rules because you start from the goals, right? You start from the goal, okay, then you check, do you have a passport? If you have it, then we do not need to check, actually, we do not need to check this following rules anymore, okay? If you have a visa, then stop. So basically, you just need to check these two conditions, if you have visa and passport. Then if you do not have a visa, then only you have to go further down and check do you have this, right? So it's basically the save time compared to the forward chainings. Okay, so forward chainings is start from the non-data. It's a data-driven mechanism. So we have to collect all the data and then we check the rules. Okay, if fire is true, then this output will be stored append into your observation and repeat the process. All right, look at this illustration here. So the first rule here is referred to your current observations. So let's say you have A, B, C, D, E. You have 5 conditions, and then you have these 5 rules, 5 conditions and 5 rules here. A, B, C, D, E, and then you have these 5 rules. So this is the forward chaining. The forward chaining, then we will scan every single rule. Okay, we have to check every single rule. We check rules number 1. Y and D give you Z. So do you have Y here? No, you do not have Y. So rules number 1 is not valid. We go to rules number 2. X, B, E. So do we have X? No, we have B and E here. So forget about the rules number 2. Rules number 2 is after we fire, then we append it. So just look at the first row, right? We do not have an X here. So rules number 2 is not valid. We go to rules number 3. A. Do we have A? Yes, A. So A lead you to X. So this X here, which is the output, will append into your observation here. So now you have A, B, C, D, E, X in your observation. Alright, so now you finished. We have to continue scan the rules number 4. Do we have C? Yes, we have a C here. C lead you to L, so L append into your observation. You have more and more observation or the data. Then we continue the last so-called the rules here, L and M. We have a L, but we do not have M here, so stop. Okay, so this is the last 2, so this is stop at the first cycles. Alright, then we repeat. We have to restart from the rules number 1 based on the so-called the data that we have, which is A, B, C, D, E, X, and L. We check rules number 1, Y and D. No, we do not have Y, but we have D here. So rules number 1 is not valid. Skip it. Rules number 2, X, B, E. X, we have it. B, yes. yes. So XPE give you Y. So Y again append into your database here. Okay, we check the rules number last one, L and N. We do not have it, so we skip it. We stop here. Repeat again, start from the first rule. Do we have Y and D? Yes, this time we have Y and D here. Y and D give you Z. So get Z append into this database. Then we check rules number 5. Not okay, no, we do not have L here. We stop. So we will check again. Do we have rule number 5? No. Then we will stop here. So the conclusion for this exposition, this process is where we will achieve Z. Given that you have this observation A, B, C, D, E, the conclusion is Z. Okay. So this is forward chaining. A bit time consuming. You see that every time you have to scan every single rules here. Check, 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 check. And then whenever you have the output, it will append into your database. Okay. Okay, so look at this one of the examples here. Assume that you are approaching your doctors, and then the doctor will start to collect your the symptom. So all the symptoms here will refer to the fact or the observations. Right, the temperature is 102. 102 should be a different high. If degrees Celsius, then die already. That should be F. Sick for 2 months, has sore throat. Okay, so you have 3 observations. So these 3 observations, remember, these 3 observations will store inside your fact, a temporary memory. Then we have this knowledge base. Okay, we have this knowledge base. This is store all the rules here. So we have these rules. Okay, and then we have this fact. So we are going to do the matching now. Okay, we are going to do the matching or the reasoning between these two. Okay, let's now begin. So we check rules number 1. Okay, rules number 1 is what? If the patient has sore throat and a bacterial infection, sore throat, right? So, but we do not have this bacterial infection. We do have a sore throat here, right? Let's see. What is your fact? Your fact is temperature is more than 102, sick, 2 months, and also the sore throat. Okay. Okay, so we are going to check rules by rules. Rules number 1, sore throat is correct, but we do not have bacterial infection here. So rules number 1, we're going to put aside first. We check rules number 2. The patient's temperature is over 100. Yeah, then so 100, right? So this is true. So if true, then we will get a new observation, which is the fever. So the fever will append into this fact. All right. So since rule number 2 here is already fired, so we are not going to fire anymore. We just fire 1 time, so finish. All right. Then what we'll do, we will check the rules number. If this is a first come first serve, then we won't check the rules number 3. Now let's say assume that this is a first come first serve, we won't check the rules number 3 here. So what we'll do here is, okay, we check again the rules number 1. Patient has sore throat, bacterial infection. Again, we do not have bacterial infection in this case, so we skip it. We go to rules number 3. The patient has sick over 1 month. Yeah, this is true. Fever. Yes, this is true. So you have a bacterial infection. So this bacterial infection will append into this fact, bacterial infection. Alright, so finish. Then we go back to the rules number 1. Patient has sore throat. Yes. And bacterial infection. Yes. So strep throat. You have another observation. Strep throat. But you notice that all the rules have been fired. So this one become your conclusions. That's it. So that is forward chaining. It's a bit time consuming. You have to scan every single rule, and you have to collect as much information as possible, all the conditions as possible. Okay. Okay. So now backward chaining. So backward chaining is a goal driven, as I mentioned just now. We set our goal first. It's a goal driven. We set our goal, then we check do we have that condition. Okay. Look at this example. So assume that we set a goal which is Z. We set a goal. So this is our goal. We want to achieve Z. Okay. So we check we so-called the set Z is our goal first. Then what we'll do here is from the knowledge base, we will see which so-called the which rule having the output Z, which is rule number 1. Okay, rule number 1. So then we will do backtracking, right? In order to achieve Z, you need these two conditions, Y and D, right? Right. In order to achieve Z, you need Y and D. Alright. Then we will check our so-called conditions. Do we have Y and D here? We have D, but we do not have Y. Okay, we have a D here, but we do not have Y. So Y here now become our sub-goal. Okay, so now you check. In order to achieve Y, you need these three conditions: X, B, and E. So from our observation here, we have B, we have E, but we do not have X here. So again, X now you set as a sub-goal. Okay, you set X is a sub-goal. So in order to achieve X here, we need A. Alright, so from our observation, yes, we have an A here. So done, finished. Then, since we have A, we can prove that we have X. Since we have X, we can prove that we have Y. We have Y, we can prove that we have Z. So Z is valid. So we do backtracking. So it's very straightforward. So you can see that in this case we didn't so-called scan the rules number 4 and rules number 5. Right? For the forward chaining, you have to check every single rules. But in the backward chainings, no. Some of the rules you may skip it. Okay, one of the examples here. Okay, the goal is to decide whether freeze is green, right? So this is our goal. We want to check whether freeze is green based on the rule base containing the following 4 rules. And these two are our observation: croaks and eat flies. We have only 2 observations, but we want to prove whether freeze is green. Alright, so what we do, we will try to see where is the rules that having output X is green, which is rules number 3. Yeah, X is green here. In order to prove X is green, we have to prove X is a flock. But unfortunately, we do not have flock here in our observation, but it's okay. Because we know that rules number 1 can prove that in order to prove X is a flock, we need to prove X close and is 5, which these 2 conditions are in our observation. Therefore, we can make a conclusion. But having these 2 observations, X or freeze is green. That's it. Yeah. We do not need to have information like chirps and sings, kernelly, no. And also we didn't scan every single rules. But we still can prove that freeze is green. Okay, boleh follow? Yeah. Okay, so that's it for the expert system. Now let's move on to a little bit more of this recommended system, of this expert system called recommended system. Right, recommended system is a subset to the expert system. It's a type of expert system. You will notice that there are a lot of slides here. There are many slides here, so I'm not going to explain every single slide. I'll just make a summary for you. Okay. What is recommended system? I believe most of you already know, because I noticed a lot of students, your assignments, you're doing a recommended system, movie recommended system, sing-song recommended system, right? So we have a 2 type of recommended system here, called content-based and also collaborative. Okay, so what is content-based? Content-based is based on the properties or the attributes. Okay, so assuming that EJ just purchased from Shopee, what is the product that you recently buy from Shopee? Sports shoes or clothes. Okay, EJ bought the T-shirt, let's say. Okay, so this content-based so-called recommended system will identify the properties of the shirt. Okay, let's say this is a shirt. Okay, and then what are the materials? Let's say cottons. Shirt, cotton, maybe the color is red, and so on and so forth. So we will try to extract all the information about the shirt. So then what will happen here at the back end? There are a lot of products sold in the Shopee. So let's say we have a collar, we have sports shoes. We have a sports shoe here. Okay, and then we have a, let's say, computer. Okay, let's say we have some dress. Okay, so this content base will start to do some scannings or comparing whether this shirt, the properties of this shirt is in match with this collar or not. Okay, compare these properties with the shoe properties, compare this property with this property, compare this property and this properties. So you will notice that this skirt here will probably having the highest similarity between the so-called the shirt, right? Therefore, eventually the Shopee will return or recommend the skirt to EJ because they're having similar properties. Okay, but the problem is, what is the limitation? What is the limitations? Yes, very good. You will always recommend the shirt only where the scope is limited. So you have to come back to the recommended system. What is the purpose for recommended system? The first, as the seller, I want to promote my products, all my products. I want to sell with my product. From the user, you want to get recommended products that satisfy you. You want to feel happy, right? That the system able to recommend something new or something that is relevant to you. But imagine that now you buy a TV from Shopee. Shopee, if you use content based, Shopee will just recommend other TV to you. But in fact, you already buy the TV. If you still recommend the TV to you, are you happy? No. Why you need two TVs, right? So this is the limited scope. Or let's say Domino pizza. Okay. Anyone like Domino pizza? Anyone eat Domino pizza? No. What you like? McDonald's. DFC. DFC. Okay. So let's say Domino. So don't use DFC data. I will be on the newspaper. Okay, let's say you buy pizza. Now you buy pizza here. Okay, so you buy Hawaiian chicken. Hawaiian. You hungry? I purposely. Okay, you buy Hawaiian chicken, Hawaiian pizza, Hawaiian chicken pizza. If we use content based, what product do you think the recommended system will recommend you? Let's say you already purchased Hawaiian chicken, Hawaiian pizza. So what are the products that you think the content based will recommend to you? More pizza. You already buy pizza, 12 inch, very big. Then you recommend pizza again. Okay, BBQ. Tom yum. Maybe now we have a new durian pizza. We have it, US pizza. They sell the durian pizza. But I never taste before. But I know that you have a durian pizza. So are you happy with these recommenders? You have a pizza, but it recommend you BBQ Tom Yum Durian pizza again to you. So you have to imagine that Domino maybe they have their new product, chicken. Maybe they have a chicken, maybe they have a pie, maybe they have an ice cream. So this new product will never reach to this user if we use content based. Because the properties of a pizza is totally different than pie, ice cream and chicken. Okay, so that is the limitation for the content based, limited scope. So what we have to do? In order to enhance the satisfaction level of the user, then we improve using collaborative filtering. Alright, so in order to build collaborative filtering, you need to build this matrix first. This is called user items matrix. It depends on rating. So how it works? Janice, you buy anything from Shopee? TikTok? Yes. What are the recent products that you purchase? Give me 2 or 3. Huh? Yoga mat. You do yoga, or you just buy for illustration purpose only. A lot of people they buy and then they just put it there. Okay, yoga mat, very good. Huh? You also for picnic. Okay. What else? Any other products that you purchase besides yoga mat? No more. Give me some, otherwise I cannot continue. Necklace. Okay. Okay. Pandora. No. Oh, Swarovski. Okay. What else? Give me one more. Huh? Pokong. Pokong. Recently the gold price sky, huh? Book. Oh, okay, book. What? Facebook. Book, huh? Book.
比较便宜的，便宜的，便宜的。
Wow, still studying book. I think nowadays the youngsters they don't know what is book anymore. Facebook they know, Instagram they know, book they don't know already. The book no more market nowadays. Okay, let's say now Yixuan is it? Yixuan. Okay, Yixuan. Okay, let's say Yixuan. Did you buy book before? Did you buy necklace before? Yes. Okay. Okay. So, the yoga mat? No, okay. So, we have say we take this example. Janice bought these 3 items before, and then Yixuan also bought this before, and then Janice give a good ratings. Okay, yoga mat, okay, 4.5 out of 5. Okay, necklace about 5 out of 5. Wow, bling bling, cantik. Okay, boat maybe 3.7 out of 5. I still consider a good rating. Okay, Yixuan also like this, so it give a 4.5 out of 5. So we have this information, we have this data. So this data we later on we put inside this user item based matrix lah. Alright, so what this how collaborative work is, we need to collaborate these 2 users. But we can use some like unsupervised machine learning, like using the k-means. And identify, okay, so since Janice like book, okay, because having sorry, not book, necklace here, which is a 5 out of 5, and Yixuan also like it. Okay, if we use unsupervised machine learning, we can measure that actually Janice and Yixuan, since they like the same products, then we can assume Janice and Yixuan, they're having the similar properties. They are quite similar to each other, even they are friends. Okay, so since they are friends here, so we assume that we assume that both of them they have a similar so-called properties or behavior, kind of that, their interests, habits here. Then we will promote this yoga mat to Yixuan and the book to Yixuan as well. So you will see that if we use this, we are able to solve this limited scope problem. In this case, we promote all the pizza to the user. But in this case, we promote other things to Yixuan. Yoga mat. We have a book, right? 3 of them are totally different properties, but we are able to solve the limited scope. We promote others product to this new user. So therefore, Yixuan will receive different products, so enhance the satisfaction levels. Okay, as a seller, I'm also able to sell away my other products. It's not only pizza, but other products. Okay, alright. So again, but what is the limitation here? What is the limitations for the collaborative? The first, it actually take time. It actually take time to build this matrix. Alright, so it probably take years to collect the rating from different users that rate on a particular product. Alright, so we have a second problem here called opacity. It's where how many of you after you purchase a product you will actually give a rating to products after none, right? You get the parcel, wow, you're excited, you open you forgot about Shopee. This is the common, it's very common. After you open the parcel, you take or you try, then you forgot to give rating. But Shopee give you points, right? So that's why somehow maybe you will still give you get some points. Some other platform you won't get it. So that's why the Shopee will give you a coin. So that's why there's a reason that they want to collect the rating. So they want to build a more powerful recommender system, enhance the user satisfaction. Okay, but content base normally used for a new startup company, yeah, where they do not have any information, they do not have any rating from the user yet. Okay, but to get this all the properties is easy. You can get the specifications, right, just from the product. Then you can just build using a cosine simulator, what compare the properties. Okay, but for the old company like Shopee now, already a few years, I believe that they already have very powerful, so-called the matrix form, the matrix of informations, data, for them to build a collaborative. Okay, but a little bit more. Yeah, to build these models, let's say you have a user items, we have a rating. Let's say this is 3.4, 5.7, 3.3, 5%. Okay, so let's say this is all about the rating, about rating. Due to the sparsities, a lot of users they didn't rate the products. So we can actually predict these so-called the nouns values using a technique called SVD. It's called singular value decomposition. So we're going to use this method to predict all this value, all this rating. It can be predicted based on the user characteristic as well as the products or features. Right? We can use the SVD to predict this value and then build the collaborative filtering. Okay, yeah. So that's all for today's. Good news. This chapter is not in the final examination. Final coming out one. Week 14. Okay. All right. So, yeah, you can. Trainer. Oh, trailer. No. Week 14. We keep the best for the last. Alright, so this chapter is just for you like understand because you will notice that a lot of wordings, theories in this chapter. So I don't really like to set theory questions. So I skip this question. But however, we have a question from following chapters, 12 and 13, which are relevant to these chapters. Okay, so better to understand this chapter so that you can understand the following chapter. Okay. Okay, just for information, we have 14 chapters. Last chapters is not included as well. We have 1 to 14. 14 is the modelings, and these chapters is not included. It's not included in the final examination as well. So I'm going to remove these chapters upcoming semester, modelings and also the simulations. So you just need to focus chapter 1 to 13, excluding this and 14. 1 to 13, excluding this. Okay, so any question about the Sabah want to go back already? You want to fly? Where you go later? Makan? Go back hometown? Hey, you are agent, right?
Yeah.
He's my second boss. So that's all. I'm going to stop here. So anything that you're not really sure, feel free to come out. Cool. Cool Hong Fong and also Yi Hong. Where are you? Okay, so SCDC, 12 o'clock. Alright, so see you next week. Enjoy your weekend. And Otto's sleeping, don't disturb. Let her continue to sleep. Okay, thank you and see you. Have a nice day.